Hello guys, let's have a brief introduction about the Splunk. So Splunk is an American multinational corporation based on San Francisco that produces software for searching, monitoring and analyzing machine generated big data via the web style interface. Splunk Enterprise that is one of the product of Splunk. It captures, indexes and correlates real-time data in a searchable repository from which we can generate graphs, reports, alerts, dashboard and visualization. Let's see where we can use the Splunk. This is the basic infrastructure in the IT where most of the enterprise data is machine generated. So we have our core IT system which contains different servers on either database or applications or storage servers. All of these industries generates lots of big data on the daily basis, and it is very difficult to monitor that data, what is happening on our server. Let's look on what is machine data on different system. Like on a web-based application we have the Twitter, and we have the machine data on the logging, and we have something time duration given on the logs and then details of other information given in the logs. At the middleware and we have some exception logs. So all the machine data looks different, and it is very difficult to identify these logs, but Splunk provides us functionality to search, investigate and explore these machine data on a single screen. We do not need any human intervention to identify what is happening on our system. So Splunk basically identifies some key value pairs in this machine data and indexes these keys value pair in its database. On first line we captures customer ID, order ID and product IDs. On the middleware and logs we capture order IDs and customer ID. On the IVR we have the customer ID again. The Twitter end we capture Twitter ID and customer tweets ID. So Splunk basically identifies these fields in machine generated data. Basically we can capture different types of logs on the same system with the help of Splunk Enterprise server. So I have one of my Splunk Enterprise server at my end. I am going to log in into my Splunk Enterprise server. This is my home page of the Splunk. I have different links. One of the link is add data, second one is for Splunk apps, third one is for documentation. The first tab indicates that we can add different machine generated data on our Splunk server. So let's move on to this add data part. So it supports structured data in CSV, JSON and XML format. It supports Exchange and Active Directory and SharePoint based logs data. It have the support of syslog and SNMP type data. So there are different types of data resides on different platform, and Splunk supports all these data. We have the three option on Splunk Enterprise server. We can monitor the real-time data from any of the machine, like from the WebSphere application server or from Luna HSM appliance or from database servers like SQL and Oracle. We can also monitor the syslog of our Linux based system through this monitoring data. On the forwarder end we can extract data from one machine, we can reformat it and we can forward it to another Splunk server for further processing. Well, let's move on to the monitoring part. So we have four options how we can monitor real-time data on our Splunk server. We have files and directory option, we have TCP/UDP port option, we have scripts which we can run on remote system to monitor any of the data. Let's say I want to monitor one of my file in my local system, so I will browse that file. Let's say I want to monitor one of my log file located in my Linux system, so I will open the location. I am going to monitor boot log of my Linux system, so I have selected this file. There are two options: either I can index this file one time. If in future this file modifies, I will not be able to get any update from that file. And second option is the continuously monitor. So in case if this file modify in the real time, Splunk immediately captures that modification and it have the updated data of file with. So I have selected this file and I am going on the next option. Now I have to define the type of file. We have different source type mentioned in Splunk for the file type. So for logging part, I am going to select it as log4j, and going on the next page, I have to define the application on which I want to search the data of this file. I am selecting the default search and reporting app. In the next part, I will define the host field values, and the last part would be the index. We can either create a new index or we can select existing index from the list. This is my review page, and after clicking on submit, this file would be monitored by my Splunk, so I can start searching on this file. So right now you are able to see data which resides in this application. Let's say if I am searching what's equal to the file location, so I am getting the data from this file. I can apply some field extraction from this data. Well, we can monitor any number of application server or machine on our Splunk. Any error in my logs, I have to mention index name. I can also regex pattern for index, and I can search error string in my log. I can check those events, their time duration in the Splunk Enterprise server. I can save reports of the search criteria which I have mentioned here. I can save them as a dashboard panel as well, and I can also apply some alerts email on this data. These were the basic functionality of Splunk Enterprise server. Thank you. Let's focus on Splunk app for Luna HSM. The application provides the functionality to monitor different Luna HSM on a single screen through the Splunk Enterprise server. So this application we can deploy on Splunk Enterprise server. Let's look into the installation step of this application. First of all, how we can get this application? We have to open google.com on our system. Let's search Luna HSM app. This gives us results, and one of the result is targeting with Splunk base. The application link would be given in the documentation of the application. So let's open this link. Here we get the Luna HSM application homepage from where we can download it. So there are two tabs given on this Splunk base page. One is the overview of application and second is for documentation. So in overview you can get a brief introduction about this application, its a release note and the functionalities of Luna HSM application. Now on the documentation part, this is something very important. First of all, it have Gmail to Luna HSM app introduction part, and second one is the installation prerequisite. Let's search download link. The download link of application is given on the right hand side upper corner. First of all, we have to make a user account on splunk.com. Through that account we can log in into the Splunk base, and then we would be able to get the download link of application. So let's download this application. It's asking for license agreement. So it is giving me the package. This is Luna HSM App _10.zip file. Let's open this zip file. This zip file does contain a device information package. Inside this device information package we have the different folders. So after download we would get the package for this application, which is Luna HSM App _10. Let's move back on the documentation part of the application. So this is the documentation part. Here some installation prerequisites are given. So 4 prerequisites are there for application installation. First one is we have to download and install Splunk Enterprise Server, which is available on Splunk products website. This is the Splunk Enterprise Server. You can download this and you can install this server on your system. The second prerequisites is we have to ensure the host name of our Luna HSM appliances. Those host name must be different. Those must not conflict with each other host name. The reason to make these different host name, we differentiate each and every HSM based on their host name in our Splunk application. I'm moving on to the third prerequisites. Splunk's SNMP modeler input version 1.2.7 or above must be deployed. This SNMP modeler input is an add-on available on Splunk base website. This add-on basically provides us the functionality to make SNMP requests on our HSM appliance. Let's search this application. Yes, so here we have SNMP modeler input. The same type of page is given for SNMP modeler input add-ons. Here is the overview tab, and second is the documentation tab. You have to download this add-on and you have to follow the documentation. So let's I have one of my Splunk server on this IP. This is the home, this is the login page. Let's log in into the Splunk page. So I have already installed this application, this SNMP modeler input application. I have already installed, and it is having its name as SNMP_TA. There is the application setting link. Here is the manage apps link. It will also point out to the same page, and in this link we can able to see what are the applications which are already installed on our Splunk application page. Let's move on to the documentation part of Luna HSM app. So the fourth prerequisites is the syslog and SNMP poll trap must be configured on Luna HSM appliance. Basically, we capture the data of our Luna HSM appliance through syslog and SNMP poll request. For SNMP poll request, we need to install Splunk SNMP modeler inputs, and for syslog we have to configure the syslog on our HSM appliances. In this section we learn about SNMP configuration. Our requirement of SNMP configuration is to capture Luna SA system health status through SNMP poll request. Our Splunk server makes some SNMP poll request on our HSM appliances. On appliance end, we have to make some configuration settings so that we can accept those requests and we can respond back those requests. Continuing with our Luna SA settings for SNMP, we have 4 basic steps. First one is to add a new SNMP user in our HSM. Second one is to enable SNMP service. Third one is make some SNMP traps parameter for our newly created user of SNMP. And fourth one is to enable those SNMP trap setting. Here I have my Luna HSM appliances. So this is the first command of adding a new user. It have sysconf SNMP user and add a new user. As a security username, we mention our username to which we will use for future reference. As auth password, we can choose any of the password of minimum 8 characters. As an auth protocol, we can choose SHA-1 or AES auth protocol. The privilege password, we can select some key. As privilege protocol, we can define the protocol for our privilege controls. Here I have a sample user parameters. I have a sample username as Pete. My auth password key is 87654321. My auth protocol is SHA. My privilege password is 12345678 and my privilege protocol is AES. I will copy this command and I will run this command on my Luna HSM appliance. So my new user is created. Moving ahead on, my second step is to enable SNMP. This is a simple command, sysconf SNMP enable. If we want to disable the SNMP, just put disable at the place of enable. Sysconf SNMP is going to be enabled. My third step related with SNMP trap set. So in this command I have some extra parameters. I have to mention IP of my Splunk server. So let's say here is my IP 10.164.14.12. My security username, which I defined in my sysconf user edition command, same as PETE. This is my key for SNMP traps. Going next is my auth protocol as SHA. My auth password will be same. My privilege protocol is AES and my privilege password is 12345678. I will make these trap setting on my HSM system. So here it is going successful, and my last step is to enable SNMP traps. These are the 4 basic commands to configure an HSM appliance for SNMP. This device is configurable and default port of SNMP pole is 161. These are the settings for SNMP. Further settings on Splunk server, we have to install SNMP modeler input. This is the add-ons which is available on Splunk website. I will check SNMP modeler input Splunk. This add-ons basically used to make SNMP poll request and to accept SNMP traps on our Splunk server. You can download this add-on from the link given. After downloading of this modeler input, my download is going to complete. Now I will install this add-on on my Splunk. To install this add-on on Splunk server, I will go on application settings. I will click on the link install app. I will choose the file. My file name is snmp-modeler input. This is my file. I will check the upgradable app link if this application is previously installed on my Splunk server, and if and new version is available, then this will automatically upgrade my application. Here my Splunk application SNMP-TA is created. After these installation steps, we need to further check the documentation part of this application. So these are the overview, these are the features part, dependencies, setup. Here are given some prerequisites of this application, and in this step, this is the important step, building and installing PY crypto package. We have to follow these steps to install a Python setup on our system and to make PY crypto package using that Python. That PY crypto package, this is my PY crypto package which I have created using the Python. I have to copy this package after following these steps, and next step is adding custom MIBs. Custom MIBs are basically used to make poll request. Custom MIBs also need to convert it into .py format using the Python, and we have to copy those MIBs into the MIB folder of this SNMP-TA application. With our Splunk application package, we also provide these converted Python files. A user can copy these converted Python files from our Splunk application package and paste those MIBs file into the bin folder of SNMP-TA application. This step is necessary because our SNMP poll request will be created through this SNMP modeler input application, and because of these are created using this application, we have to copy our MIBs file in this SNMP application. So these were the basics of SNMP configuration settings on Splunk server as well as on Luna appliances. In this section, we will learn about syslog configuration on Splunk server. Requirement of syslog configuration is to capture our HSM appliances activities and to monitor those activities through our Splunk server. There are settings on Splunk server and on HSM appliances for a syslog configuration. After installation of our Splunk app, we get a TCP input type in our data input section. I will check the TCP section. Here a new TCP input type is displaying. It's on port 7171 and it accepts requests from all of the HSM appliances. I will check further this TCP input. It have the source type as syslog. Other configuration are the index where the syslog data will be saved. The index name is Luna_syslog1. These TCP input setting is automatically configured after installation of Splunk application. User do not need to touch these settings on Splunk server. On HSM appliance end, we have to run a simple syslog add command. This is the performa of syslog command. And let's say my Splunk server IP is 10.164.14.12. After modification of this syslog command, I will open my HSM appliance. After logging into this HSM appliance, I will run this command. This command will take approximate 1 or 2 minutes. Syslog configuration part is completed. As you can see the message, this target IP is added successfully. So these are the commands, the 4 steps given. So these were the 4 installation prerequisites given for application deployment on your Splunk enterprise server. Let's move on to the next part, is post installation requirement. In the post installation requirement steps, the first requirement is ensure to assign the can delete role to the Splunk admin user. What is Splunk admin role? Here on the Splunk enterprise server, which we have installed in our environment, we have a setting tab. We have the access control link. The access control link, we have the user. I am using presently the admin user for my all of the operation. Let's click on the admin user, and here are the different roles which I have assigned to my admin user. First role is admin and second is the can delete role. So can delete role is required in our application. You can assign this can delete role and you can click on save. Let's move on to the second post installation requirement. Make sure that you configure your email setting to send alerts on sensitive operation to users. In our Luna HSM app, we have different alerts configured, and those alerts send email. So we need a mail server settings on our Splunk enterprise server. How we can do that? Here's the setting. In the setting tab, we have the server setting link. In server setting, we have the email settings. On the email setting, I have one of my mail server is on this IP, and I have configured this server. You can give the values of those fields as per required from your mail server, and click on save. This was the post installation requirements. Let's move to the next part of online documentation. This is Luna HSM app download and installation. So download Luna HSM app. The application link is given. These things I have already explained how we can download this application. Now moving on to the fourth part, how we can install this application. So logging into the Splunk web interface, click on the app manage apps to open the app management page in manager. Let's have the application link, apps link here. In the manage app link, we got a new page where we can install app from the file link. In the choose file button, we have to select our application package and click on the open, and we would click on the upload button. This upload button will install this application on our Splunk enterprise server. Same steps are given in the online documentation as well. So after upload of this application, Splunk enterprise will be required to restart. After restart, this application will be installed on your system, and next would be the verification step, whether this application is installed successfully or not. Now moving on to the verification part of application deployment. So after server restart, we will get this home page of our Splunk enterprise, and on this home page we would get a new link for our Luna HSM application. This link shows that our application has been deployed. let's verify the verification steps. So here are 5 verification steps. One is a new application named Luna HSM App should be listed in the list of application. So here we have the new application link. First step is verified. Second is new index name. There would be some new indexes created in your Splunk enterprise system. Let's check. In the indexes part given in the settings, we have this indexes. So here we have HSM client address, HSM information, HSM operation, HSM partition, and Luna_1. These indexes we have in our Splunk enterprise system. So second point is also verified. The third point would be new field extraction should be deployed in Splunk settings. So let's check the setting, the fields link given on the knowledge section. Let's check this field section. Now here we have the field extraction link. Now in the field extraction link, let's select our Luna HSM app with admin users, as I have installed this application using the admin user. So here we have a lots of new fields extraction automatically created, which is given in my verification section. Now fourth part is new alerts must be displayed in this section. So let's check alert section, setting in search report and alert link given in the knowledge section. Let's check some new alerts. So here we would select our Luna HSM application with admin user. Now we are getting these alerts. The application name given is the device information, which is our Luna HSM application name with admin users. So this step is also being verified. Let's move on to the fifth step. A TCP input type must be displayed in setting data inputs TCP section. Let's check the TCP input setting. In the setting tab on data section, let's check data inputs. In the data inputs we have the TCP section. Let's click on this TCP link. A new data inputs of TCP type for 7171 has been created. So these verification steps have been completed for our application deployment. Next is the online demonstration. We have a link for a video which gives us installation steps on how we can deploy this application. Moving on to the next part is adding custom on to the Splunk modular imports. So we have these 6 MIBs given in the list. These 6 MIBs are the custom MIB. These custom MIB have the SNMP poll request object through which we would be able to get the data from our Luna HSM appliance to our Splunk enterprise server. These MIBs basically would be required for Splunk modular input add-ons. These add-ons make SNMP poll request with the help of those MIBs. So guys, Zomato provides these custom MIBs file in .python format as well as in .txt format with the application. You can find these MIBs file inside the bin folder of the downloaded package. Inside the downloaded package we have this custom MIBs. So this is our downloaded package. Inside the bin folder of this application we have these MIB file in .py format as well as .txt format. Splunk modular input application basically accepts these MIB file in .python format. So we have to convert these .txt format into the Python format using these commands given in the documentation of Splunk modular input. Whatever the platform you are using, either Windows or either Linux, you need to have a Python setup on that platform, and you need to convert these txt format files into the Python format file. Gemalto also provide the .python format file. We have converted these files on our Linux system. On RHEL6 we have converted. So either you can copy these files from the folder of the downloaded application package, or you can convert those files at your own. You can copy .python formatted files from that location, and you can paste those files in the SNMP modular input application installation folder, that is inside Splunk home etc apps snmpta/bin/mibs. This was the custom MIBs installation steps for our Luna HSM apps. For more information, you can refer Gemalto Luna HSM application user guide, which is available with this downloaded package. So here we have our application downloaded package. Inside the static folder you can find Luna HSM app user guide. You can extract this guide say we are extracting it on desktop. You can extract this guide and refer this PDF document for the application users for application deployment. So here we have the user guide of our application. It contains the document, the product information, its part number, its release date, and the content, which contains introduction section, how we can add a Luna device on our Splunk application, how we can monitor our HSM appliance, and how we can configure advanced settings in our Splunk Enterprise server. So let's move on to the Splunk Enterprise server, where we have installed this application. On the application part, the application section, you can see a new link for Luna HSM App. Let's click on this link and home page of our application will be loaded. I have a pre-configuration of one of the Luna appliances inside this application, and I am able to see the information, various information of my appliances. Let's first move on to the step given in the PDF document of how we can add a new Luna devices. So in the chapter 2, the information given, the steps given for our new Luna device configuration. First of all, we have to go into the application page. It is Luna HSM App. On the application page, we would be able to get a screen, that is the home screen, which you can see here. This is our home page screen. On this screen you can see the two buttons. One is for add a Luna device and second one is for remove the Luna device. So we should click on add a new Luna appliances. Here we can get a form which contains different fields for the configuration of a device. First field is the SNMP input name. Then, so let's say I am configuring a device underscore 123. Other information you can refer or PDF documentation. Here's the details given for all of the field of that phone. So IPv version 6, mark this checkbox if your device supports IPv6 or not. In the third field you have to enter host field values. Let's do those things. I do not have IPv version 6 on my HSM appliance. The third field is the host value. The host value should be your Splunk server IP, which is 76.53 in my case. The next field is SNMP v3 username. Next is the v3 authorization key, encryption key, and authorization protocol and encryption key protocol. These fields are related with the SNMP user configuration. Whenever you will configure the SNMP user, the steps given in the prerequisite installation prerequisite section, whenever you will configure the SNMP user on the Luna HSM appliances, same information for authorization password, authorization protocol, privilege protocol and privilege protocol, those values are required in this field. So I have configured one of the username as PTP. My authorization key is 876.56. My encryption key is 1234567 Authorization protocol is SHA, which I have selected at the time of SNMP user creation, and I have selected AES encryption protocol for my SNMP v3 user. Now the next field is the destination. This destination should be the IP of your target appliance. So let's say I have my appliance on 72.49. I have configured that IP here. Now the next field is for port. This port is the SNMP port configuration. By default we set it to 161 on Luna HSM appliance. So you need to configure that port number in this field. And the last field is for interval. Interval refer to the time duration between the two consecutive polling requests on appliances. Let's say I have configured 300 in seconds, so it would be the 5 minutes. These were the configurations part for adding a new Luna device as given in the document section. So after making these entries, we have to click on the save, and device configuration part is completed. So after 5 or 6 minutes you will be able to get information regarding that newly configured device. Let's have a look on this attributes given in the report panel. The first report panel is the HSM information, which contains serial number, appliance IP, label, model, firmware version, backup protocol, FIPS mode, authentication method, RPV initialization status, audit role initialization status, and performance level of the HSM appliance. So appliance IP is basically the target IP which we have configured in our new Luna device configuration screen. The same destination IP would be given in the HSM information panel. So if we will click on any of the field inside the first appliances, we will get the information regarding partition of that specific appliance. So right now we are getting information with the serial number 150162. Here we have the partition details of this appliance, that is its partition serial number, partition labels, allocated storage bytes, available storage bytes, and partition activation status. The next field is for ECIS capabilities, which is not getting right now. And the next is the Korean algorithm support status. Next one is the admin login attempt left up, and the next field is status for manually devised. So this was the second report panel. Now moving on to the third report panel, which gives us information regarding usage of an HSM. It gives you can map appliance IP or serial number of the appliances with different report panels. Like the first the appliance IP given in the first report panel is same as given in the third report panel. The next field is allocated storage area, total storage bytes, available storage bytes, number of partition created, and there are 3 partitions showing here, and all 3 partitions details are given in the second report panels. The maximum partition limit which we can have with that device, the number of clients presently connected with our appliance, and the last one is the NTLS operational state, which is showing us up. So moving on to the next section, which is HSM unreachable. Here we are able to see one device 10.164.72.49. so this report panel shows us the information of the device which have network communication error in last 10 minutes. We have configured this appliance IP recently, and right now that appliance is not up, so we can get information regarding that appliance in this fourth report panel. This was our home page of HSM inventory in Luna HSM app. You can click on search button on either of the report panel, which will redirect you to a new page. You can see the whole search command which we are using in our Splunk Enterprise to make these results. You can edit this search command as per your convenience, and you can save as this as a dashboard panel or as a alert or as a report in your enterprise, and you can use it as per your convenience. Like I am saving this as a report panel, description given, test report panel 1, test report panel for HSM information. So I have clicked on save. If I want to create a dashboard panel for this search report, I can create the dashboard by clicking on save as dashboard. Either I can insert these report panel into any existing dashboard or any new dashboard. So I will create a new dashboard here. Now I have the dashboard permission as private or shared in other applications. Panel title would be test report. Now I will click on the save, and now I have the link for view dashboard. So here my new dashboard view. will be visible. This is my new dashboard and I have a new report. I can edit this dashboard. I can export this. This was the method through which you can customize this application as per my convenience. Now moving on to the next page of HSM Health. This page basically shows us the status of different power supply units, temperature and voltages. We have the graph regarding one of the device for temperatures and for voltage. So the description given on the bottom line of that report panel shows that temperatures of right power supply unit of the HSM appliance. Here we have the IP of this HSM appliance. So you will configure multiple appliances on this application. You can see multiple line graphs on the same screen for the devices. Now the second report panel is for power supply unit 1 voltage. The unique power supply unit plus 12 volt monitor of right power supply unit. Third panel is for the power PSU2 temperature, and if I want to see the value of any of the report panel, I can move my pointer on that graph line and I would be able to see the information regarding IP 10.164.72.58. it is 0 and the time in which these values were captured is given in underscore time parameters. So the same thing is given in the power supply unit 2 voltages. The next report panel is for the CPU temperatures. This description given as CPU temperature measured at the geometric center of CPU package located. This was the location of the sensor on your HSM appliance, and we are capturing value of that. So at this time we are getting its value as 50. Next section is for CPU voltage of the appliance. So this also gives us a past 2 hour graph for what values are captured for the CPU voltage. The next 6 report panels are regarding the 6 fan which are located on the different location on your HSM appliance. Their fan rotation value in RPMs are given in these graphs. We can also customize this dashboard. We can click on either of the report panel. We would get the result that criteria. We can edit that result as per our convenience, and we can make a new touch. We can save the same thing as dashboard panel or alert. Let's move on to the third page of our application, that is HSM statistics. The statistics mainly provides us the information of what operations we are doing and what are the main performance of our HSM appliance. So right now the first report panel is for crypto operations frequencies, and the number of operations which are performed in last 5 minutes given on this graph. So we are capturing this information on the basis of the intervals given in our HSM appliance configuration piece. At the time of configuration of the appliances, we have given 300 as the time interval of pole. So we are also getting the values at the interval of 5 minutes in these graphs. Now let's move on to the HSM utilization. So I think there are not so many operations performed on HSM. That's why it is giving us as 0% utilization. Moving on to the next report panel section, which is HSM operational error. How many errors are captured on our HSM appliance? That also have a duration of 5 minutes, the same duration which we have mentioned in HSM appliance configuration time. The fourth report panel is of HSM command count frequency. Many commands are counted on the HSM for last 5 minutes. This line graph is showing us 0 continuously, so I think there are no command performed on our HSM. The next section is the HSM operational state, which gives us the status of HSM operational values. Basically we have the NTLS operational state in 3 levels. 1 indicates it is up, 2 indicates it is down, and 3 indicates it is in unknown state. So right now we have the state 1 since last 2 hours. So it shows us that operational state is in up. The next section is for HSM successful clients connection. How many clients are connected? So it is showing us 50 in last 2 hours continuously. There are 50 successful client connections with our HSM. Moving on to the next report panels. Here you can see 2 sections. One is for HSM failed client connection, and second is for HSM connected client counts. So you can see there is error given, search is waiting for the input. So where we can provide input for this report panels. On the upper part of this panel we can see a drop down menu of appliance host IP list. So here we have right now we have only one appliance IP, which is 72.58. We will select, then we can get results regarding that appliance. So here we have 0 number of failed client connection and 5 connected clients with this HSM appliance. So this was the third report panel of our application. You can customize any of the report panel by clicking on any part of the graph. By clicking, you will be redirected to a new search page. You can edit this search criteria and you can save that new search as a dashboard panel or report panel or as an alert panel. Now moving on to the fourth report panel, which is log statistics. This is basically captured from the syslog of the appliances. Right now we do not have captured any of the syslog, so this list is showing as blank. And in below 2 reports panels which are regarding NTLS response code count and lush command frequencies, those are also giving us an error that search is waiting for input, but there is no syslog captured still, so the list is empty. Whenever we will select on the, if let's suppose there is an appliance which is having some lush commands and NTLS response code command response codes. So after selecting the IP from the list, we would be able to get a pie chart of top 20 lush command frequency and NTLS response code count. Usage of our application. You can find all these details in our PDF documentation given with the package. So here you can get these details. This was the fourth panel, log statistics. So in the image there is one device captured, and we have selected that device in the list. Based on that device, some values are given in the pie chart for anti-alias response for count.